Well, it's been more than a decade since the 26/11 attacks. And yet, the memories refuse to fade, kind of like that one friend who still talks about school days like they were yesterday. Back in November 2008, Mumbai, India's buzzing metropolis, was thrown into chaos. The Taj Mahal Palace, one of the city's poshest hotels. So something no guest signs up for, an orchestrated, cold-blooded terror attack. There were whispers, no, let's call them foghorns, about nearly 60 well-trained, commando-style terrorists wreaking havoc. When the dust finally settled, 166 innocent lives had been extinguished over 59 horrifying hours. And while Modi had already managed 3 election victories, here we are again. India has voted him back for a 3rd term. That's right, the man has joined the elite three-peat club, second only to Nehru. Fireworks, laddus, and chants echo through the BJP headquarters in New Delhi. But wait, don't expect any electoral brownie points just yet. Because this isn't just politics, it's national security. One of the prime accused in the 26/11 attacks, Mr. Tehevur Rana, has finally landed in India. Yes, finally. And let's be clear, today's India isn't the India of 2008. This isn't the "we'll issue a strongly worded letter" India. Nope. This India remembers, doesn't forgive, and sure as heck doesn't forget. So, now that Rana has arrived, special delivery after 10 years of paperwork and finger-pointing, many in the opposition seem to have caught a sudden case of panic. Why so jumpy? Is there something they don't want coming out during Rana's interrogation? If not, then take a deep breath, grab some popcorn, and let's see what the National Investigation Agency can find out. Welcome to another episode of the Shyam Sharma Show, hosted by yours truly, Shyam Sharma, self-proclaimed CEO of Secular Sarcasm. Let's rewind to 26th November 2008, a night seared into India's memory like a bad tattoo. 10 terrorists from Pakistan's pride and joy, Lashkar-e-Taiba, stormed Mumbai. They killed, injured, and left behind scars we still carry. But they weren't alone. These weren't just some trigger-happy goons with no plan. No, this was a premeditated slaughter, choreographed to horrifying precision. And behind that meticulous planning, Tehevur Rana, ex-army doctor turned immigration consultant turned international terror accessory. He even ran a company named First World Immigration Services, because nothing screams business as usual like processing visas for terrorists. Rana's golden boy, David Headley, was spoon-fed an Indian visa under the pretext of a business trip. And what did Headley do during his business tour? Oh, just strolled through the Taj, Oberoi, Nariman House, clicking pictures, noting entry points, scouting spots like a creepy tourist, and then handed over his trip report to Terror Central. Meanwhile, the world mourned, India bled, and Rana? He allegedly told Headley they deserved it. That's right, compassion overload. This guy. The entire operation was orchestrated by Let, with Hafiz Saeed and Pakistan's ISI reportedly playing tag team behind the scenes. Intelligence from India and the US pointed to ISI's hand in training, funding, and babysitting the terrorists. Eventually, Rana was caught in the US and got a 14-year prison term in 2013. Great. But let's be honest, India wasn't exactly popping champagne. Because what good is a conviction in America when the crime scene was right here in Mumbai? So, India pushed for extradition, painstakingly, persistently, and probably with a lot of chai-fueled meetings. And finally, drumroll, the US Supreme Court gave the green light. Cue 10 years, to Olympics, 3 UK Prime Ministers, and even the release of cinematic disasters like Archie's and Nadnia. But here he is, in India, where he should have been all along. And don't underestimate the significance. The US doesn't hand over people easily. It's not like borrowing sugar from a neighbor. America has this legal twist called the political offense exception. Basically, we'll only extradite if we feel like it. So yes, India bagging this extradition is a massive win, not just for the victims and their families, but for Indian diplomacy, intelligence, and those unsung bureaucrats who probably aged 10 years fighting this case. So why does Rana's extradition matter so much? Because it sends a loud, clear message to anti-India elements. We are watching, we are waiting, and we will come knocking. Also, Rana's interrogation might just blow the lid of most secrets. Planning, funding, possible collaborators, even state-sponsored shenanigans. And let's not forget, there a possibility, tiny but tantalizing, that someone might finally explain why the then ruling party was so keen on labeling this an RSS job. Because the moment news broke, certain intellectuals and political leaders launched an alternate reality theory, claiming the terrorists were posing as Hindus. Oh yes, saffron threads and all. Luckily, a true hero, Police Constable Tukaram Ombal, sacrificed his life to capture Ajmal Kasab alive. Because of him, Pakistan couldn't peddle the Hindu terror narrative they so desperately wanted. Still, that didn't stop some folks in India from doubling down. A book was even launched, 2611's RSS Conspiracy, courtesy of a senior Congress leader and his Bollywood buddies. Not a single apology or condemnation came from the party. Quite the opposite. Some even claimed that Ombal was killed by an RSS cop, not a terrorist. You can't make this stuff up. Meanwhile, Nawaz Sharif, Pakistan's former PM, casually admitted that yes, the attackers were Pakistani. But of course, some Indians still tried to sell the RSS angle. At this point, you'd wonder whose side they were on. So yes, Rana's return is a diplomatic home run, a testament to how India's foreign policy has shifted gears, especially under Ajit Doval. This isn't the ignore and endure India. This is the knock on your door at 2 a.m. India. Doval's stance is clear: attack us again, and Balochistan might start looking for new landlords. Since then, let's just say Pakistan's army has been having a very bad time. And while we're at it, these mysterious, unknown gunmen taking out anti-India elements in Pakistan and beyond? No official confirmation, of course. But if Karma had a task force, they'd probably look like this. Even Dawood's underworld grip has weakened. Terror isn't glamorous anymore. It's risky, messy, and very, very temporary. Hafiz Saeed himself narrowly escaped a recent attempt on his life. His aide? Not so lucky. One-way ticket to the afterlife. So yes, we still await complete justice, especially until Hafiz Saeed is brought to trial. But this, right here, is a strong step forward. And those complaining that this is just political, well, if extraditing a terrorist is a political move, maybe we need more of them. Because if this had happened under the Congress government, Rana might have ended up with a Padma Shri, a comfy NGO post, or his own biopic on a streaming platform titled From Doctor to Diplomat, the Tehevur story. So let's raise a glass to persistence, to justice, and to India finally taking the narrative back into its own hands.